Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm going to do a quick run through of my dividends for August 2022. The total was 1,033, I believe, something like that. It's going to be boring for some people, but if you're into dividends or you're looking into retiring on dividends, this is what it is. I really have no script for this. This is just number one. So we'll get into it and then, join my Facebook group or find me on my blog and hit me up. I don't take comments on YouTube because I just don't have time because I have a job. But let me know. Let me know what you think, and we'll get into it. All right, starting with Cash App. The big player, the big star of the day is Agent IC. Okay, because that's the monthly player, and that's a mortgage rate. So they pay me $41. PIF, right? I wish it was PFFA, but it's PIF. That's Preferred Shares ETF. Right, it's about 4 or 5% yield. O is a reality income, right? They're a mortgage RET, or they're a RET. I'm sorry, equity RET. So $4. Let's see what else we got in here. Okay, this is still Cash App, AT&T, Abby, um, Kinder Morgan, which not $30 almost. AM, Ontario, uh, Ontario Midstream, right? So they do natural gas shipping. That's almost $60, right? So that's the big one. They're like an 8-9% yield. Okay, Verizon, of course, and then BTI. Hopefully, you're getting more BTI. All right, that's British Tobacco. Okay, so he's, or it's the kind of sister to uh, Altaria and Philip Morris. Okay, so that was it. So the total from Cash App was 193. Okay, Wells Fargo. I use that for high yield stuff. A lot of high yield stuff. All right, so these are my monthly payers right here. Okay, these five right here. So they all pay on the first, and they're all closed-end funds. This one is Wells Fargo owned, and it's basically based on finance, a banking sector, and it's about a 6% yield. Is pretty. All those are pretty low. They're bonds and stuff like that. So these are my favorite closed-end funds right here. PDI, they're all those are PIMCO funds, right? So I have a hefty amount in there to get that much per month. So the way I have it structured is the orange are my monthly payers, and then these colors are to go with the month, right? So every purple is going to be the same stocks. Okay, so these are monthly payers, right? So SDiv is very low right now. That's a international dividend fund, so it's low now because of the Russia situation. But I'm collecting high yields on it, and it's buying 1 or 2 shares per month of itself. Perfect. Okay, these are closing funds. Okay, so I'll go down to the month. Apple, right? I think I have 4 shares of Apple here that I bought before the split. I think I bought 1 share and then it split to 4. So it's slowly going up. And we'll go back and look at the year, what we were at the year ago in August after this at the end. Okay, so I got AM again. This is actually a baby bond, which is good. This is a preferred share. Coral A is a preferred share. Okay, and it's good. It's a high yield. It's a 9-10% yield. So I'm stacking up on that. ORC is a BDC, right? Business Development Company. So it's $8. And that was 244. 244 from Wells Fargo. So you'll get to know these over time. Now, Agent IC again. This is Stash. Stash is more of my dividend growth portfolio. So you'll see more of a consumer style bonds or stocks here. Okay. Now, AT&T, Ally Bank, I think is going to be a long-term player, good payer. So I like Ally Bank. And what I do for these is I put like $2 a week into each of these, and then I reinvest dividends. So these are slowly going up. So as you see, Verizon was 396, 431, 467, $5. It's slow, but it adds up. It adds up when you look back a year, right? So I think that was November. So if I zoom out, I'll zoom out later. You can see a year ago. It adds up. Okay, and I got ORC again. So those are my that's Stash. Stash was $50, which if you look last yearish, November is 34. So it's slowly going up. Okay, Charles Schwab, SDiv and O Reality Income. Okay, I got more Apple over here. T. Costco is a big player, right? Costco pays a very low dividend, not even 1%. But I have a lot of Costco. I have like 3 shares of Costco, but it's like $500 each. So, I'm getting that, and they're coming off. Verizon, more Crow A. And then Public Storage usually plays in the months of March, but they had a $35 special dividend, right? So that amped up my shares for that month. I reinvested it back in Public Storage. Public Storage is a REIT, a self-storage REIT. You see Public Storage around. Okay, so the total from Charles Schwab was almost $100, $97. Okay, now M1 Finance, I have 3 different pies, and inside this main pie, I have like 5 different pies, right? So I have my high yield pie inside this big fund. So I call this one my M1 custom ETF, right? So this is kind of my high yield stuff. These are very high yield bonds. These are closed, right? And PDO again, PIMCO, AGNIC again, SDiv again, right? DIA is Dow Jones Index. They pay every month. So it fluctuates, right? Last month it was 142, it's 27 cents. Then I have Abby, Ally Bank again, Apple again, Carrier. I think it's gonna be a good player for I got Carrier right when they start paying a dividend. They split off from, I forgot who they came split off from, and I bought them, at like, I think it was $15. Now they're at like $45, $40, $30. But I think they're gonna be a huge dividend payer over the years, so I got them early. AT&T Pizza is Domino's, and is it Domino's? No, Papa John's. And so Papa John's has a very low yield, but they have a pretty good growth stock. CVS, which is a good dividend. And then Starbucks is struggling, but man, they have a good dividend for now. So I think keep investing in Starbucks. I am. And I think they're going to be getting in the long run. People aren't going to give up their Starbucks. And a lot of this stuff is the Russia situation really got a lot of those overseas companies beat down. Okay, so that was a custom ETF. It's $56, right? So it's growing slowly, right? It's growing. So you look back. So a year ago, it was $40. So $56. I don't put much money in that custom ETF. I kind of let it grow because I'm going to focus on this other stuff. All right, so these are my bonds. So this is a whole nother pie, all bonds. Okay, and they're all monthly paying bond stocks, except for O and dividend stocks. But I just put it in there. MVG is a tax-free stock. It's a municipal bond fund, so it's tax-free. So it's a 4% yield, 5% yield right now. However, it's tax-free, so the yield is a little higher when you factor in taxes. Right, so here's PIFA. PIFA is one of my favorites. So it's a preferred share stock, but it's actually actively managed. So it has a higher yield. It has an 8% yield. It's actually ETF and not a closed-end fund. So I wish I had more PIFA everywhere else. So I put $50 into these 2 funds each, and then I put $500 a month into this one. Okay, so this is my high yielders, and this is just gonna focus on just grind. I'm grinding these out. I'm trying to get that to like by next year. I want this at $200 a month, right? And so I'm just going to grind that one out, and then once it's producing $200 a month, it'll just keep paying for itself at high yields, and then it'll just keep feeding on itself and growing by itself, and then I'll start spreading the money evenly more across everything else. But yeah, I'm focused on this one right now, high yielders. So you see, I have 4 monthly payers, and I have PDI and AGNIC at 25% of the whole fund. I have these at 10%, and I have each of these at 5%. So for this month, I had AM and BTI. Okay, and this fund is growing quick. What I did was this on M1 Finance, I have it to where I have $1,000 in cash, and then it's gonna start reinvesting. So I didn't really invest the last 2 months because I built up $1,000 kind of protection or whatever you want to call it. So now I have $1,000 sitting in that account, in this high yielders account, and now when I deposit $500, it's gonna jump back in there and start reinvesting again. So you'll see these numbers start skyrocketing. Okay, so for my total for the month was $836 for me. And my wife usually, she has similar to all my, she's pretty much copied mine. She has a little different in Wells Fargo. Like she has Tangiers outlet, right? 60 cents. But yeah, for the most part, she's the same as me. Almost copied me directly. And her total was 251. So when I put them together, I usually don't calculate them here. So next time, guys, I'll be more prepared. So I was 836, and my wife was 251. So 1,087. 1,087. Wow. Okay. And so what I'll do next time is I'll highlight it and I'll make it a little bit better, a little bit more sexy and readable. But yeah, so then what we can do, let me zoom out a little bit. So here's last August. So 94 bucks in Cash App. So let's scroll to the bottom. Last year, a year ago, was 345, and that's still a lot of money. And this year, it's 836. So that's what happens when you do your due diligence. Take your time. There's nothing, I guess, quote unquote, sexy about that, about dividend investing, but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to have the money. And me, I spend some of my dividends. At least I keep them on hand until the end of the month. And if I didn't spend them, I reinvest then because I like having a backup. I like having a backup, tell you the truth. It's fun. So I like to invest heavy and then have the dividends as backup. If I don't need them, then I invest them again. As opposed to keeping my money from my job on hand and not investing, and then something comes up, I'd rather put it all into the investments and then use my investments, what they produce, to save me. So it's a little different mentality. But anyway, so the total was 1,087, and I'm going to clean it up, guys, and make sure it looks a little better next time. Now, I actually have this template on Etsy as a Excel spreadsheet that you can upload in Google Docs and use it. So, hopefully it's easy to read. You understand it. I understand it because I've been looking at it for 3 years. But you can also modify it your way as well. But I like the color coding. It keeps it easy. When you buy a stock, you put it right in the color, and then you can expect to get the payments, right? And it's easy for me to see what paid and what's paying next or what month and everything else, right? So with that being said, look forward to it, getting better with this thing and going from there, okay? All right. Bye.